So I want to create a lemon tree, and I've seen a lot of trees done, or a few trees done on the internet with the 3D pen, and I haven't been happy that they look realistic. There are a couple of problems. One is, as I did with my wisteria, that if you draw on the flat, you're going to have a flat back. And the other problem is, if you don't draw on the flat, you have to build up. And building up means that you have to start making squiggles and build the tree up in quite an unrealistic way. So I'm going to try and conquer those problems, still using the drawing on a flat back idea, but I had the idea of using a corner piece to build within and doing 4 of them. So I went out to my office and I found this piece of packing material. And this is silver foil coated, and I thought quite rightly that this silver might actually keep the heat, so it might make it stick quite well, and it has got a sort of slightly sticky feeling to the coating of it, so in fact it did work. This is quite difficult to get hold of though, because I know because I've tried, so that I could let people know. But you can get a cardboard version, and all it is it's packing material for shipping white goods, etc. So it should be reasonably easy. If you can't find that, just find a corner piece of wood or whatever, and if it doesn't stick, coat it with paper. So I'll turn my machine on again and give it time to work. So the principle is that what we're going to do is we're going to make several parts to this tree. It should by rights be 4 pieces, because this should be a 90-degree angle, but actually this one has been sitting out in my damp office and has become more like a 33 1/3 angle. Not 33 1/3, sorry, I'm thinking in 2 dimensions again. It's like a third of the whole 180 degrees, so don't ask me to calculate that. But all that means is that instead of making 4 pieces, we'll make 3 pieces and join them together. So nice and easy, I think. Have I turned that off? I have. I'm going to turn it on again then. Annoying. So you're going to use quite a lot of this wood material, and I don't have the colour that I really wanted. I was waiting for that to come in. The colour I really wanted for my lemon tree, for my patio garden in my book, was a lighter colour. This is the only wood filament I've got at the moment. I'll say once again that wood filament is a little bit, it melts at a little bit lower temperature, and really this is not the right pen for it. What you really should use for wood filament is a pen that turns down, the temperature can turn down to a lower heat. This one's for ABS, and the wood filament is a lower heat than ABS. However, I don't have any option. This is the only one I've got, so I'm going to use it anyway. Another point that I made in the other videos is please use a mask, because as I said, it is a bit, if you are going to use one of these, there are fumes, and I think that there are fumes even with the correct filament. So I'm not using a mask just because I'm videoing, but if you're working at home and using a lot, then I would use a mask. That's my advice. It may be that it's perfectly safe, but I'm not taking the risk. So I'm turning that on to a fast speed so that I can feed through as fast as I can. I get a bit impatient with this. Okay, it's coming through now. So I'm going to keep it at the fast speed for the first part of this, because what I want to do is to draw the main trunk of the tree. So I'm starting just with one layer and then pulling away. Oh, I've done it wrong. I'll do that again. I've forgotten my own, I'll just move that piece of paper. I've forgotten my own important rule, which I worked out from doing this before, and that is to start just doing the middle. So the first thing to do is to draw down the middle, straight down the middle, and just come off at the end. Then I'm going to draw right next to that first line, I'm going to draw another line. Whoops. And then fairly near the top, I'm going to come off again. So, and I've pulled it away slowly, so I'm left with some of the filament just hanging off. So that's one line. Then I'm going to do another one. Two lines. And then on the same side, a third line. Just pulling off after a while. So then on the other side, one. Take off near the top. Try not to make it too regular, we want it a little bit irregular. Two. And three. So you've done three on each side. Now that's because I want to do a fairly small tree because it's for an internal patio. If you want to do a big tree, make it much bigger. And then you'll need to fill in the middle of this tree a little bit to make it a little bit fatter. But as I say, it doesn't want to be too fat because it's a little tree, little patio tree. Okay? So that's nice and simple, even simpler than the wisteria. So the next thing, very simply, is to pull this off. I've lost one of my branches, but I'm not worried. And you'll do another two of these, because we're going to make three. So I've just taken all the excess bits off, and I'm placing that on the back of that, just so that I can work over the same piece of material. Actually, I'm going to do a second one because that one, I'm not very happy with that one. I'm going to do a second one. I need three anyway. So here we go. Starting again. Down the middle. Then one. Make sure that you line it up properly. Two. Three. One. Two. Three. So as you can see, I've got a nice little tree shape there. And the thing that I forgot to do last time, which made me quite unhappy, was I meant to double up on these branches. So to double up on them, you have to turn the speed down a little bit, and make them a bit thicker at the base, not at the end. Just turn it down a bit more. My speed on this one doesn't seem to be very easily altered. So while I'm doing this, I'll just tell you, you'll need about 10 to 12 metres of material. So if you're buying in sample lengths, make sure you get at least 10 metres of the material. Because there are a lot of losses, especially if you're using this slightly higher temperature machine. You tend to lose a lot of end bits. So I've thickened those up a bit. I'm a bit happier with that. Now I have to put the fattening on the trunk. Let me turn that up. Okay, so now I'm going to pull it off, and as you can see it's got a little angle there, and you can imagine that 3 of those will go together quite nicely. Right, the next thing that I need to do is to bend over the top half of this. Now if you want, you can stick this to here with masking tape, but I'll just hold it on. And I'm using the fact that this machine is quite warm to help me to make this bend outwards, because we don't want all the top sticking together. We want it to form several different branches. So using this slowly, I'm thickening up this part of the tree, and hopefully the warmth, yes, there it goes, the warmth's helping me to bend it. You see that's now bending over. So we only want to thicken the branches up, we don't want to thicken the trunk up, because that needs to stick to another one. So treat each branch separately. We don't want them to be too even, too pretty. Now I've bent that over, I can push it over in this direction. Sometimes these don't want to stick together because they're hanging down. That's why it makes it easier if you use a board to work against. So now I want some longer branches, because looking at my lemon tree, which is just behind me, the branches do stick quite a long way. So I need to start drawing along the length of the branch. And then, whoops. The problem with being a bit too hot is it breaks. It bubbles and breaks. So I've extruded a bit more there. Sometimes when it's a bit warm you can just mould it a little bit with your fingers. If it goes too slowly you hear a sort of popping, bubbling sound and it breaks. I'll just make it go a bit quicker and then we shouldn't get so much of the popping. Wait for it to cool before you let go, otherwise they'll all drop completely. And you can use the angle of the branch to dictate where you use gravity to dictate where your branch falls. Don't know whether you can hear that popping. branch now to take it off. You can snip any things that you don't want off later, so don't worry about little mistakes. Wherever there's a pop, there's a break in the filament. So some of these won't stay on because they've popped. Just wait for that to cool. So we've got 2 pieces, so I just need another piece now. So I'll quickly turn up and do number 3. So I've got 2 pieces there done, and I've got one here not really done, but just to show you how to do it, I'm going to get these 2, put them together. I've made them 2 different lengths, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem. And where they come together at the top, you need to start gluing them. Don't do it all the way down because that can cause problems with them not fitting. So I've glued the top together, I just have to hold it till it cools. Pull out that extra bit that's going to get in the way. And then I'm going to glue them on the outside at the bottom. So here I'm just using it like a glue gun. Once again, holding it to keep it, make sure it stays cool, it cools down, otherwise it'll just separate. And then quickly run a line up that middle there. Hold it nice and firmly till it cools. So now we need to get the 3rd piece on. So I'll just hold it gently together there and turn the speed up a bit and get that bottom glued, this side and this side. And a bit in the middle as well. And a bit up at the top. Then it's a matter of filling in these little gaps. You can see there are air gaps in there, and these need to be first of all glued together and then covered. But So now I'm just building up the trunk. Trying not to make it too rough because my lemon tree is not as rough as an old. Mine's quite a young tree, and I want to put this in a patio, so I want to be quite a young tree. So trying to get rid of the worst of the roughness. Sometimes it helps just to snip some of those rough bits off. The problem is the longer you leave your machine not running, the more likely you are to clog it up and maybe burn it. Well, as you can see, this is looking a bit like a tree. Some of the bits are clearly going to come off unless I glue them on. But I'll carry on working on this tree, and then after that I'm going to stick some leaves and some fruit on. But before that, I'm going to solve another of the problems, which I'll just turn the machine off. I'll solve another of the problems which I've found with the 3D pen, which is how rough this is. Now it looks nice as wood, but it's just a bit too rough. There are a couple of things that you can do for this. One of them is sanding it. You can sand the wood filament to smooth it off. And the other thing is using another of my goo colours. And this is, I showed on the previous video how to make this liquid polymer goo, which is just Fimo or another polymer clay mixed with liquid Fimo or another liquid polymer. I usually use liquid Fimo, I must admit, and mix that together. The actual colour that this is a Primo colour, and it's Primo Rhino, which is quite a nice colour for certain tree trunks. It's a pale brown colour. So that's mixed with liquid Fimo into a gluey mess, really, and I can paint it on and soften out some of these rough edges with that as well. And then we'll come back and put the leaves on and the fruits.